Okay. Yeah.
especially now more than ever, because I'm a little upset because I found someone else has COVID and they're in the hospital. They're only 40. They have kids, and I'm really worried about them. I'm really worried that they're not going to do well in the hospital, because the hospital they're not treating you in a way that's going to help you get better necessarily. So we want to be proactive instead of reactive. And we want to really think about our lungs and our health. I mean, because that's what when it seems like when it attacks the lungs is when it's the worst problem. So, and people I've known lately that have actually died, that's what it did. It attacked their lungs. And so we want to see ways that we can build up our body. So this is going to be, if you have any questions in the chat, or you have a specific thing that you're thinking about joining this class about supplements and you have a question, just put it in the chat room, or just raise your hand and you can unmute, and we're very open here. We're not, So, and feel free to take notes, because it's a lot of information we're going to be giving. So, like I said, there's 80 to 90,000 different supplements, and the FDA does not regulate them. And they don't have to prove that they work to let people put them on the market. There's no regulation. So, how do we know what we're actually taking then? They can say a lot of things, just like with essential oils, they can actually only put 5% essential oil in and say it's therapeutic grade. So that's, it's very, very dicey out there. So what are supplements exactly? Well, they're exactly really what it is. When our food doesn't give us the nutrition that we need, like from our regular diet, we're not getting the right nutrition, then we have to take supplements to, provide our body with those nutrition that we're not getting from our food. Of course, eating whole foods is the best way to get nutrition. We always want to look at food first. Food really is a source of wellness. And so when we can eat real food, vegetables, fruit, nuts, things that are not processed, that's always where we're going to get our best nutrition. I mean, I'm not really crazy about supplements, but unfortunately we really need them. And I'm going to talk about that. The food sources, the way things are grown, lifestyles that we have are, it's very different from our grandparents. Like my parents, we always had a garden, and our freezer was full of, all this stuff from the garden. My mom made her own spaghetti sauce, all these types of things. So we were really raised on healthy food. All our meats came from the local butcher and things like that. If we got mac and cheese in a box, that was like, woo, that was a treat once in a great while. In fact, there was a joke in school, because I would always pack my lunch and my mom would make cupcakes, and the kids would always want to exchange them for their tasty cakes, because they got tasty cakes, I got real cupcakes. And then on my 16th birthday, a couple of my girlfriends bought me a TV dinner, because I had never had it, back in that was when TV dinners were just coming out. So people were like, oh, these are great. Never had a TV dinner. So they thought that was a cool gift to give me. It was probably a gag gift, really. But so our bodies know what to do with real food. They don't know what to do with TV dinners. That's not real food. It's potatoes, it's, meat, and it's baby peas, but they're so overly processed and cooked that there is no nutrients left in it. And I can't even read some of my notes. But so some people are going back to growing their own food, and that's great. So, but basically it's like a tomato plant or some herbs or something. We're not all gonna, we don't have time to go out there and have this big garden. So we buy our food at the store. And so even if we're eating real food, we need supplements because the ground is depleted. The farming techniques are not what they should be as far as how they used to rotate crops and all that stuff. They just, you know, the air, this breathe, you know, the pollution, everything. So, in fact, it would take us, we would have to eat 6 oranges compared to our grandmother's 1 orange to get the same nutritional benefits now. That's how bad. And everything has been genetically modified. Like an orange used to be hard to peel. It had seeds in it. You had to deal with that. Now it's like modified to these, you know, these little oranges that you can peel easily. And I don't know, what are they called? Does anybody remember what these halos, right? Halo oranges. Yeah, I mean, everything's been so genetically modified. Another thing is that most things that we buy in the store, unless it's like in the summer and you can buy it from a local orchard, or they pick it 2 weeks before it's ripe. Okay. And actually, the most of the phytonutrients don't develop or come to their full, you know, maturity until like 2 days before. So by taking it, you're really keeping it from getting that sun and that full nutrition all the way to the end. So we're not getting that full spectrum of nutrients that our body needs to function. And this is what we need. This is how we were created by Jehovah to, you know, these are the foods that were given to us, and our bodies know what to do with that food and know how to use it. So if we get our supplementation at CVS, maybe even a health food store, it's very confusing. Like, how do we know? Like I said, it's not regulated. So how do we know? And so much of it, like you think, well, if it's more expensive, it has to be better. And we want to believe that. And usually that is the case, but not necessarily, because most all vitamins, wherever you buy them, are synthetically made. They're made in a lab. They isolate something like an orange will take out ascorbic acid. I can guarantee you, if you have vitamin C in your house and you go get it right now and you look at it, it's going to have ascorbic acid. But one thing I learned today listening to someone is there's like 10,000 phytonutrients in an apple, in an orange. So if you isolate 1 or 2 of those, you're not getting the benefits from, you know, what Jehovah provides us with, a whole, you know, fruit or a whole vegetable. So if it comes from a whole, a source of whole food, then our body knows what to do with it, and it's going to become what is called bioavailable. That means that, Lori, could you you gave me an illustration or the thing about the key, opening the key. Could you couldn't explain that better than me, because I only heard it once. So
Well, I was watching this. He was like a scientist who was explaining. His background was that he did not. His wife started using oils, and he didn't believe that they worked. So he was, because he's a scientist, he was delving into like the science of it all, the cellular, at the cellular level, you know. And what he was saying was what what they're doing today is taking, so they look at what the benefit we get of something from nature, and then they say, well, I see the one thing that's really the main thing that's giving the benefit. Well, let me pull that out and put it into a supplement or put it into whatever they're working on. But like an oil might have up to 300 constituents in it. But he explained that what we need is, we may need all those constituents because the cell has like a key. You need you need something to open the cell so that the oil can get inside there and do what it's supposed to do. But if you just take one constituent and are taking that in a supplement, well, you don't have the key. So, but if you take the whole food supplement, or if you have an oil with it that has all the constituents, that's why Young Living doesn't fractionate any of their oils. They keep them all exactly as they are, so that
Mhm.
all the constituents are there. So the key is there to open up the cell,
Open.
so it can, the oil or whatever we're taking can go in there and do what it's supposed to do. But if you just isolate one thing, you don't have the key. How are you going to get in?
Right. And that's where the bioavailability comes in, because um, yeah, the blood absorption of most synthetic um, supplements you get, 42% is utilized within 24 hours. Using the young living supplements with the oils in, it's 86% within an hour our bodies are utilizing. That's why you notice such a difference when you use Young Living. So none of us like to throw money down the toilet, but literally, if we are buying vitamins at CVS and some of these places, we are literally, throwing money right down the toilet, because we are peeing or pooping it out, and it's not being used in our bodies. Very little of it is. In fact, some of that capsules you will just poop the whole capsule out, because our body was like, oh, I don't recognize this, I'm not using this, and it just passes through. There's been studies done. It's amazing. Yeah, nobody wants to waste their money. So but we want to do our research, we want to look for options, and so this is where Young Living comes in. Now, I'm not going to say that there's not other other supplements out there that aren't whole food, because I know there are. I know there's some good products out there, and you can find it and research it, and that's great. That's fine. But I want to talk about Young Living supplements. Okay, they have the same seed to seal promise as the oils do, and like Lori just mentioned, they do not modify or change anything. They keep it as a whole, and they do not, pick out things. They just use it as the whole thing, because they know that's where the most benefit is. So Young Living, while there's no regulations by the FDA, Young Living self-regulates. And they only will put something out that is the highest quality, and they're a very high integrity company. We experienced this, Lori and I, and as a lot of you here are members, so the high integrity and how you can really tell the difference with things like Ningxia and that type of thing. And Lori's going to talk about that one. So in fact, if it doesn't meet their standards, where it's the oils or whatever, they will literally throw it out, like on their fields. They will not bottle or capsulize anything if it doesn't meet their high standards. They'll lose hundreds of thousands. There was a farmer on there that when he started working there, he couldn't believe what he saw. He's like, you can't throw this out. They said, but it doesn't meet our standards. And he's, well, can't you, no, you find a place to use it on the farm. And he's like, that's like $200,000. And then like, we can't use it. We won't use it. So that's how they are. So they're sourced from fruit, veggies, herbs, and roots. And why Young Living controls everything. They never outsource. They never go anywhere else. If something isn't available at their standards that they're growing and controlling, then it's out of stock. It's simply out of stock until it becomes available. And that can be frustrating sometimes, but I look at it as a positive because they're not going to give us something that doesn't meet their standards. So I really respect and appreciate that. And so when it comes back in stock, you just stock it up and make sure you have it if it's something you don't want to be without. Okay. And most of their supplements are infused with oils, not all of them. So you might say, well, is that really safe? Well, yes, because they're Young Living essential oils. They are as pure as you can get, and they're the only company that has essential oils marked for consumption. And so these are the oils that are going in the supplements. So why are they in there, you might ask? So what I said earlier, they allow for an entourage effect. Because these oils are unaltered and they're carefully steam distilled, they're extremely volatile and they're very small molecular structure. It helps to be a vehicle for or a pathway to increase the bioavailability in our body, to carry it through our body and have our body like have that key, like Laurie said, that it opens up and it can be used in our body because our body recognizes it because it's plant and it's whole. So it can be utilized. And so what I said before was without oils and with most, well, in fact, Young Living didn't always put oils in their supplements. I don't remember the year, but it was way before me, but it might have been in the 90s. I don't know if Lori remembers, but yeah, they did have supplements before that didn't have oils in. But then they did like all these scientific studies and they found that it definitely benefits the consumer to have the oils in. So, okay, Lori was going to continue from here.
Yeah, just a couple things I wanted to add about a couple quotes I found regarding the supplements that are available today. There's an article on Healthline that said the majority of supplements available on the market today are made artificially. So they're made in a lab to mimic the effects of nature. So that makes them less bioavailable than a natural, the natural, the real thing. And also I thought this was interesting that these companies that make these artificial supplements, synthetic, they say your body will readily absorb the synthetic version, but they fail to tell you your body won't readily recognize it. So it's going to absorb it, but is it going to recognize it and do something with it, or just absorb it or go out like Denise had mentioned? So another thing about supplements that we want to look at the ingredients, because we might be consuming ingredients that we don't even realize are in there, like artificial colors, hydrogenated oils, lead, mercury, talc, titanium dioxide, and those are all things that are not helping you, but really are hurting you. They can cause disease, heavy metal poisoning, things like that. So that's the difference with Young Living, that you get naturally derived ingredients that your body knows exactly how to put to good use. So I think the poster child for this is Ningxia Red. I think most people on here have probably tried this at least. Many are probably drinking it every day, which I'm really glad about, because this is a supplement that really everybody should drink every day, because it's a whole food antioxidant supplement from Ningxia wolf berries, as well as blueberries, cherries, and pomegranates. So the fruit is crushed and the liquids removed to make a concentrated whole food supplement. So you might say, well, why do we need antioxidants daily? It's because antioxidants give us daily housekeeping for our cells, and they neutralize free radicals. And, you know, it's interesting that our body actually creates its own free radicals from the functioning of our metabolism. It's kind of like the exhaust in the car. So our cells are working, they're breaking down, they're removing toxins, they're doing all the things cells do, and they have a waste product. And sometimes the waste product is in the form of free radicals. So we need a daily antioxidant to sweep out the free radicals before they can do any damage in our body. And so they're swept out and they're excreted. So the cool thing about the Ningxia Red is, in addition to the antioxidants, it also has vitamins, trace minerals, and amino acids. Those things are building blocks for cells, muscles, and tissues. So it's kind of cool how the two things work together. So the antioxidants take out the trash, and then the minerals, vitamins, and amino acids help our cells to build and to do what they need to do. So that's pretty cool. And the history of it is that Gary Young, who's the founder of Young Living, he heard about how in this Ningxia region of China, a lot of people, a significant number, were living into their 90s and even 100 and having like mental clarity, you know, really with it. So he went there to see, well, what are they doing, you know? And he found that the wolfberry grows there naturally. So he studied it and he found the amazing properties that it has. So then, of course, he figured out a way to, you know, to bottle it and make it available to everybody in the Ningxia Red supplement. So 1 to 2 ounces a day is a serving, or you can drink more if you're sick or if you're trying to achieve, you know, some people have lost weight by drinking more, like 2 ounces 3 times a day. So that's something Ken and I drink every day. I know Denise drinks it every day. And a good partner for it is sulfurzyme. So this is a powder. And it's a really simple supplement because it only has 2 ingredients, Ningxia wolfberry and MSM. So MSM is a non-metallic sulfur compound, naturally occurring. It's white, odorless, kind of has the texture like sugar. It's water soluble and non-toxic. And sulfur, or MSM, which is sulfur, it's found in the cells of all humans, animals, and plants. And our bodies use MSM to create new healthy cells that replace the old ones. But in order to do this process properly, our body needs proper vitamins, amino acids. And if our body isn't receiving the proper nutrition, it's going to produce weak and dysfunctional cells. So that's why the addition of the wolfberry in sulfurzyme is so important. So the 3 things that sulfur does in our body is dehydration and detoxification of cells, energy, because sulfur is a component of insulin, the hormone that regulates glucose that the cells use for energy. And also another responsibility is the structure and function of the skin, blood vessels, organs, hair, nails, and connective tissue. So supplementing with MSM, with this sulfurzyme, assures that you have an adequate organic source for your body, because our body's in a constant state of self-repair and we need all the necessary support to repair it as needed. And without the proper supplementation, the end product is going to be less than perfect. We all know we're less than perfect anyway, so we don't need we don't need to go any further down that road, right? So what Ken and I do is like, we drink the sulfurzyme. You need to dissolve it in a liquid. So we usually take like a glass of water, put 2 ounces of Ningxia Red in it, and then a half teaspoon of the sulfurzyme, and then a couple drops of the oil. This is a little sweet and has a kind of orange flavor. So it's
good.
Yeah, it's good. And you can, you know, change the flavor a little bit with the essential oil if you want. And then for Ken, he adds the MindWise to his. So that's my story.
Well, and it is also a prebiotic also, but you can get sulfurzyme in tablets. Those are not a prebiotic. They're a little bit different. But if you don't like the powder, you can always take the you always take just the, you know, the tablets too. So it does come in 2 different forms. So there are so many supplements. We could do like sit down here for 3 hours. Young Living has a lot of supplements, a lot. So we're trying to talk more about, because of where we are in the stream of time with this illness going around, this disease going around, how we can build our bodies up. Because I think it's so important. As Americans, we are, in America, I should say, we're more people are more reactive than proactive, right? So we want to be self-advocates. We want to take care of our health. We don't want to have our hands in somebody else's hands. You know what I mean? Like have our bodies in someone else's hands. Because when we turn our body over to disease, we are putting our body into somebody else's hands. And I just literally cried this morning when I found out this woman I used to clean for is in the hospital and what she's going through, because it's not good. It's not good when you go in there, you are in their hands and they're going to do what they want to do to you, because they only think the way they think and they think they're doing the right thing. They are doing nothing to help your body to fight off this awful disease. So there's things that we need to do. And the Ningxia, the Zolphirzime, this one I'm going to talk about is inner defense. Okay. So this is boosts your immune system like crazy. And it is safe to consume daily. Now, I do not consume inner defense daily because I don't feel it's necessary, because it's one of those things, like if I'm at home and I'm not around people, I don't really need inner defense, because what inner defense does, and it's right in here, what it does is it, where did I read it now? It reinforces your systematic defenses and creates unfriendly terrain for yeast, fungus, promotes healthy respiratory function. So that's a big thing right now. We want to really concentrate on our lungs. We need our lungs to breathe. Hi, Melissa. I mean, they're important. Breathing is important. We need to breathe. And when that's what's happening, they go in there and they can't breathe, you know, and they're being forced, oxygen forced upon them. And when oxygen is forced into your lungs that are already bad, it's not good. It's really not good. So there are oils. We can use the Raven, we can use peppermint. There's a lot of different oils we can use to help our lungs. We want to get outside. We want to walk. We want to breathe in fresh air. We want to breathe. Like everybody needs to every day take some time to listen to your breathing and breathe and just take in those deep breaths. And you know how when you go, like my husband was in the hospital a year and a half ago, and anyone who goes to the hospital, they give you that thing to breathe into, you know, and then it has that thing where it goes up and how many meters you're breathing or whatever. Okay, they know that that's important, right? So we need to really take the time every day to strengthen our lungs by breathing and going outside and breathing air, because our air in our homes basically is a lot dirtier than the air outside, especially if we're using fragrances and things in our homes, which we hoping everybody is working on getting rid of that. And it takes time, I understand. So this is pretty intense because it has all the oils. This capsule, I have one right here. It's all oils in there. It's all oils. Okay. So it has all the oils that are in Thieves, which is clove, lemon, eucalyptus radiata, rosemary, and cinnamon. Now, if you do have fish allergy or allergy to tree nuts, because there's coconut oil in and there's fish in it, excuse me, you would probably want to avoid this because it does have that in. So if you have an allergy to that. So it also has, yeah, so it has, that's what it has in. It has all the oils from the thieves. So we could even make our own inner defense. We could get Young Living sells them. You can buy capsules and fill them there yourself and put in so many drops, but it's very convenient because they know how many. So some people, like for their children, if they think it's too intense for their children, they'll pop it open. My friend does this and rub it on the bottom of their feet of their kids at night. So that's another option you can do. If you want to take it at night, I normally don't take it at night. I take it like if I'm going out and I know I'm out and about, I'll take one or two. That's what my husband does because he's out and about with people every day. So he takes his inner defense every day. When I'm at home, like I said, I don't take it, but when I go out, I'll take it. You don't want to take it at night when you take your probiotic. Because you will have a very volatile, you'll wake up in the middle of the night and you'll be in the bathroom because the probiotic is that good flora and everything. And then you're going to put all these intense oils in it and it just makes for a perfect storm and it won't hurt anything except you will not feel good. And I did it before I knew. And so I experienced one night of, that discomfort. So you could either skip the Life 9 at night, or just, do the Life 9 at night and then take your inner defense. And I always really suggest you take it with breakfast. Don't take it on an empty stomach because it is intense, but it is not going to hurt your gut flora. In fact, it works in harmony with the gut, helping to strengthen your terrain rather than beat it up. So it really, really strengthens and it helps it, like it said, it makes our body unsuitable for things to get in there, and latch on. So that's what makes it so powerful. So that's what I got for inner defense. Did anybody have any questions about that? Because is there anyone here that's using inner defense? You can raise your hand or no. Lori, me. Okay. All right. If anybody had any questions or anything, just let us know about that. But that is definitely one that I suggest everyone have right now on hand, because we just never know, just have it. And even if you don't use it every day, if you feel sick or you were around somebody that was sick, people are saying, oh, I was exposed to COVID. Boom, take an inner defense. Believe me, it would do yourself a favor because you do not want to go in the hospital. You want to, there are things they're saying, high doses of zinc, vitamin D, vitamin C. So these are things we can do to help our body's own natural defense. We were created with an amazing immune system, but for all these reasons we're talking about and age, our immune factor is not working the way it should. And it's not going to be perfect, of course, until the new system. It's also working against us that we're not around each other, because when we're around each other, we're exposing ourselves to germs all the time. And then our bodies are building up immunity all the time. When kids go to school in September, they get sick the first month or so, and then they're fine because now they're being exposed to new germs. And we're going to talk about that, Janet, vitamin C. So that's what we're not doing now. Our bodies aren't able to do what it's supposed to do because we're not out there. And then when we all go out there again, If our immune system is not strong, believe me, people are going to be getting sick all over the place with just things that make us sick normally, that aren't going to kill us, but make us sick, you know? So we really need to think about building our immune system up. So now Lori's going to talk about D3. And that's one of the things that you do hear this on the news. Zinc, D3, and vitamin C are really, really important for us to have that today. So D3.
Yeah, so true, because even your doctor will tell you that to take those things that Denise just said, you know. So, but we want to make sure that we're getting it from a source that we can use, and that it's a clean source. Let me put it that way, because I was interested to learn that most vitamin D comes from the lanolin in sheep's wool. I did not know that until recently. And first, number one, that seems a little weird, but you know, because like maybe there's D3 there, but that's not a food or anything, you know. So why, what would your body really know what to do with that? That just kind of made me think down those lines. But then I learned that what they do is they dip these sheep in this stuff. It's actually called sheep dip, and it's like a liquid formulation of insecticide and fungicide that they dip the sheep in, so that they don't get infested with parasites, because parasites like to go in their wool, right? So if they're being dipped in this, and then later they're extracting the vitamin D from the lanolin, what are you getting with your vitamin D? You're getting insecticides and fungicides. So that's not what I want in my vitamin D. So Young Living figured out, they have this called Super D, and this is a pretty new product. I think it came out this summer. Am I right, Denise?
Yes, it did. Yeah.
And this is very cool. It's plant-based. It's made from lichen. Like, you know, you go hiking in the woods and you see that green stuff going on like rocks and trees and stuff. That's lichen. It's a combination of a fungus and an algae. And so they extract vitamin D from there. And you can imagine what a laborious process that is, because, you know, it takes a long time to grow, and there's just a little bit on there, but they figured out a way to do that. So it's completely plant-based. And so they combined the D3 from the lichen with a plant called lemon balm, which is Melissa's namesake plant. It's called the Melissa plant. And then Melissa essential oil and lime essential oil. And that's it. That's all that's in it. And so of course it's bioavailable with the oils that are in there. And each pill, one pill is 1,000 IU. And the way you take it is it's like a dissolvable tablet. It's not a gel cap like a lot of D is. You just put it in your mouth, you let it dissolve for 5 or 10 seconds, and then you chew it up. So it's something I've been using recently. Before I had some D, I'll confess I bought it on Amazon. But I feel much better taking this, especially after I learned about where my other D came from. So it's a really nice supplement, and I like the plant-based factor of it. And Denise is going to talk next, I think, about C and zinc, unless you had something else to add on, T.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, you know, we get the vitamin D from the sun. You Floridians get a lot more sun than us up northers here. So yeah, you can go out in the sun 10, 15 minutes and you'll get a good amount of vitamin D. So that's good. But we are indoors a lot more right now, and that's another reason to get outside. And if you do get COVID, they're saying you need like 50,000 units of vitamin D. Most people are deficient. If you go get tested, most people are deficient, because we're told not to go out in the sun, right? Because of, you know, the rays and protecting our skin so we don't get skin cancer. And so we put hats on, we put things so we're not really getting that sun in the natural way, because of course that's smart, right? We're protecting ourselves. So again, this is why we need supplementation. because it is so important to have enough D3 for our body to, be immune, to be immune fighting, to fight different things. So now, yeah, I'm going to talk about Super C. There's two kinds. There's the capsule kind, and then they have the chewable. And so again, if you don't like taking, you really taking enough supplements and I don't want to swallow one more pill, the chewables are good and they're very, very tasty. And, but they are made a little bit different. So without going into like the full thing about it, basically what it says about them is that the chewables they contain powerful bioflavonoids. So again, it's a whole food. It's the whole apple. They have lemon, orange, lime, tangerine, and grapefruit is where it comes from. And so it's the whole fruit is juiced and dried to form a powder. So you're getting that full botanical synergy. That's so important, the synergy. So our body recognizes it, that key is open and it can use it. And then they add acerola fruit extract, camu, whole fruit powder, rosehip fruit powder, orange peel oil powder. So it is very powerful because, again, vitamin C is something our bodies do not make. Right. So we need vitamin C every day. And people don't realize that we need that every single day because, we just don't have it in our bodies naturally. And that kind of makes sense because we were created to live in a paradise and eat all these fruits. So why would we need for our body to make it, right? Because that's what we're going to be eating. So it makes sense that Jehovah didn't put that in our bodies, when he created us. But it helps with our cardiovascular system, prenatal care, eye function, and smoothing your skin. Yeah, it really helps. Taking vitamin C actually can make you look younger. So that's always good, right? So, and then the vitamin C, the tablets, they are contain root and flower bud powder, cayenne fruit powder, orange peel oil, tangerine rind oil, grapefruit peel oil, lemon peel oil, lemongrass leaf oil. So they don't contain the whole fruit powder, but they also have in dicalcium phosphate, zinc, manganese, and potassium. So I want to talk a little bit about zinc. Zinc is very important, but the thing with zinc is it's kind of tricky because our bodies have a hard time, really for it to go into our cells and everything. So there's different ways that you can, Young Living has found ways, they put it in certain products. So it will help our body to be able to really utilize it. It's in our Balance Complete, which is the meal replacement, which we're going to be doing a cleanse on January 4th with Ningxia Balance Complete. This is a meal supplement, so that has zinc in it. There's also a pure protein powder. Lori and I like the chocolate, so that has zinc in it. The Master Formula, which is like a whole spectrum multivitamin that Young Living has, which is a perfect complement to Ningxia. Boy, you could talk for that about hours because it has 4 capsules in a little packet that you open up and you take 4. That has zinc in it. The Kids Mighty Vites has zinc in it, and adults can take the Kids Mighty Vites too. Powergize, ImmuPro, and Super B. So all these different supplements Young Living does have zinc in, and they're formulated so that our body can utilize the zinc. Because when you do research about zinc, it's a little bit of a tricky thing for our body to use. So I think that was all I wanted to say. And I hope that answered your question, Janet, about the vitamin C. Did you have any more? I think that was the only question she had. Yeah. Yes. Okay. So yeah, there's two to use. All right. So Lori's going to talk about Life 9.
So Life 9 is the probiotic that we have. And I think as we all try to educate ourselves on our immune system, we realize that our gut health is directly related to the health of our immune system, because a large portion of our immune system is in our gut. So we want to keep our gut as healthy as possible. So Life 9 is a capsule that has 9 strains of probiotics. That's why it's called Life 9. And it has 17 billion live active cultures in a delayed release capsule, because the idea is you want to get this down into your intestine where it can do its little bacterial work. It doesn't come refrigerated because it's vacuum sealed, but once you open it, you need to keep it in the refrigerator, because you want to keep those you want to keep your probiotics alive in there. So it gives the full spectrum support. You want to take it on at least 2 or 3 hours after you eat your last meal. So that, because if you take it with food or when your stomach's digesting food, it's possible the pill could get destroyed by your digestive system before it can make it into your intestine. So definitely 2 or 3 hours after you eat, like before bed is probably a good time to do it. The trick is remembering it because it's in your refrigerator. So let's see. Okay, here. This is in honor of my grandma, who used to love to talk to my mom about bowel movements, the BMs. So this will help regulate your bowel movements.
Absolutely.
And when I looked up on this, it said if you're having 1 BM per full meal per day, that is the right consistency, that means your gut is working correctly. So I think most of us may have a little ways to go to be to that point, but by taking your probiotic every day, you're really helping yourself with that. And drinking your Ningxia, because the Ningxia is the prebiotic. So this is a food for the probiotic. Anything that has fiber in it, or taking a lot of fiber, like the Balance Complete that has a lot of fiber in it, just giving food for that good bacteria in your gut. And this is one supplement that does not have any essential oils in it. So you have anything you want to add, Denise? That was what I had.
Yeah, no, I think that's good. Just just take it at night is the best time, and it just takes a while. I've laid in bed lots of times going, oh, I didn't take my probiotic, and I get up and have to. But after a while, it just becomes a habit, and it's the first thing, because I take my CBD, and that's in the refrigerator too. So I put that under my tongue at the same time. So it's just easier after a week or so. So leaky gut. Okay, so that is we'll have to talk about that. Maybe we'll have that's a great question, Janet. So we'll have actually a Zoom on that, because that's just, you can talk about that. But basically it's your body what happens is when you eat, there's a tiny, it's half the size of a hair. If you pull a hair out of your head, your lining of your stomach is half that. So what happens is when it's open, when that's open like that, food particles go down into goes to your body, through your body, and your body then goes on attack mode, because it's foreign particles running a muff in your body, and your body goes on attack. And so a lot of health problems come from that leaky gut. So we want our gut to be tight, so particles of food can't go through. But when we consume sugars, we consume, just carbonation and sodas and all this stuff, it causes our stomach lining to open up, and then these particles of food can actually go into our body, and it's not supposed to be. It's supposed to all be in our stomach, go through our intestines, down, and intestines is where the magic happens, as far as our nutrition is absorbed in our body through our intestines, and then the waste comes out. So if it's just, it's our bodies are an awesome thing that's been created, but we're just ruining it by what we're doing to it. So, but I hope that helped a little bit. So if there's anybody else has questions, but now we can see, right? We can see how these supplements are available to us. I think everybody here is a member, and really, when you agree, right, that wow, these are awesome supplements that are right at my fingertips. I'm a member. I can incorporate what I need, or maybe I can switch and ditch. Like if I have vitamin C, I'll look at it. Oh, it's not really good vitamin C. And I'm not an advocate of throwing things away, but if it's really not helping you, then you can order. And then by the time that's all, because you might be getting something out of it, So, and then you can see that we have a community, right? Like you're not alone. When you have questions, Lori and I are just a text, a phone call, whatever. That's why we're doing these continuing education, because we really are, we care about people, and we're sharing these products because we want to help you, and we're all frugal, so we don't want people wasting their money, and if we can find ways to save it. So you're not on this journey alone. We're here to support you. And if you belong to Team Live Well, which is a Facebook group, there's a lot of cool things. Young Living's website is going to be changing. There's going to be a lot more education on there. So I'm really excited about that coming in, I think, January and February. And so many of you already see yourself. You're drinking the Ningxia. You're maybe now thinking, oh, well, maybe I could substitute or use this supplement. I really could use a boost in this area of my health or wellness. So we're here for you. We want to lock arms with you. We want to help you. And because supplements are something you order every month, like some of them you need every month, some maybe every other month, you would want to be on Essential Rewards, because I get a lot of my supplements for free. I just got 2 bottles of Ningxia for free with my points, So being on Essential Rewards with only that $50 you need to spend a month, and you start out with 10%, you go to 20, and I'm at 25, Lori's at 25% now, and it adds up really quick. And that's money for you to get. Maybe you want to get Believe oil, but you don't want to spend the money on it. Well, you can use your points, or you can use it for your supplements or whatever. So what we also, and it's going to be, there's a Google Doc that Lori is going to have up for you to fill out. And one of the things on there is we do a 3-month wellness worksheet, little worksheet, and we can take what your 3 priorities are for wellness. Maybe it's anxiety, maybe it's sleep, maybe it's gut health. And you just put in what those 3 priorities are, and then we help you work up a wellness plan for you personally. And then you can do it on a month-to-month basis. You're not like changing everything all at once. Nobody can do that. It's not good to do that, because you want to know, like, is this really helping me? You know, if you take 10 things at the same time, you're not going to know which is really helping me. So just do 1 or 2 at a time, see how your body responds, how you feel, and then build on that. So that's really what I always suggest. So I think that's it, except for the raffle.
Yes, the raffle.
Because it is 8 o'clock, 8:01. We did pretty good.
Wow, we're pretty timely today. That's shocking. Let's
So
see.
how's everybody doing? Let's see. No, wait, is there any more questions? Let me check the chat. Okay.
Janet asked about which supplement to use. Don't look at my answer. And what do you say?
Okay.
If you have to pick one.
I would say Ningxia is the #1 supplement everyone needs to be taking. #1, it covers a lot of things, especially because the whole food, you're getting so many trace minerals, vitamins, the antioxidants like Lori talked about. I mean, to me, drinking that is vital. And then the Zolphirzine, it works at the molecular level. So it helps to rebuild our cells. So adding that, and it's only like what, was it an 1/8 or 1/4 of a teaspoon? I forget.
For the Zolphirzine?
Yeah.
I think it's a half teaspoon you're supposed to take.
It's a half teaspoon, yes.
But
that bottle lasts you a long time.
It does. I think it lasts
you don't
like
you don't need that every month.
3 or 4 months.
Yeah, I think it's at least 3 months it takes till I use that. And I use it once a day. So that's definitely, and then if you're very concerned about your immune system, definitely Inner Defense, have that on hand. The D3 is super important, especially learning the sourcing of it and how superior the Young Living is. And, you know, vitamin C is important. So, you know, I would say those are the things, especially what we're going through right now. Now, if you have different things, if you have things like emotional things you need help with, Super B, their Super B is amazing, like for energy. So if you need emotional support, then they have, you know, they have Thyroamine if you have thyroid issues. So those are things that you could work with us. We could work with you as far as what you specifically need and what Young Living has available. Because I've heard, I know I have friends that have like amazing, they have thyroid issues, and using the Endoflex and the Thyroamine has like flip-flopped their thyroid issues. Like it's unbelievable, some of the stories I hear.
Yeah, that's why it's good to just kind of talk and see what your needs are, you know, what your concerns are, and then, you know, make a better recommendation about what would be best. But
did you have any questions, Caitlin? My friend is on speakerphone listening.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I was interested in the B supplement that you were talking about because I actually just went to Walmart and bought B complex. I got it, you know, for you know, the metabolism boost, and also a main one with, you know, stress.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So,
I got it for stress. I didn't know that Young Living, you know, sold any, you know, B supplements.
Okay. Yeah. Well, we'll definitely.
That's pretty cool to know. And then, like, another question, what is the CBD oil that you put under your tongue? What does that help with?
Okay. Yeah, we'll have to have a Zoom class about the CBD because Young Living, again, it's very unique, their CBD. Again, it's seed to seal, all organically grown. There's no THC, 0 THC, but there's essential oils. There's essential oils, and so it tastes amazing, and it brings your body back to home. It helps to bring your body back to homeostasis. So many people don't know our bodies have a cannabinoid system, so we are producing it. But again, just like we need supplements, we need help with that system as well. So yeah, we'll definitely, that's great. We'll have the CBD, and we'll have one again about gut health, and address those. So thank you very much for those good ideas. We'll get on that.
Cool.
Okay, let's see who won this raffle.
Okay. Oh, did you put Caitlin on?
Oh, no. Oh, thank you for saying that. Caitlin. I don't know if I spelled your name right.
That's
Caitlin.
fine. Yeah. We're doing it
Okay.
right now, Caitlin.
Can you see the screen? You guys can see?
We'll see if you win.
Okay, let's see. Oh, Caitlin did win. Oh, that was nice.
Yay, we have a winner.
Awesome.
There was confetti and everything, Caitlin.
So we forgot to talk about what the prize was, but it's a little.
So the prize is
It's
Ningxia.
a Ningxia
With
packet.
Caitlin drinks the Ningxia.
A nitro.
I never tried nitro, so that'll be good.
And then sulfurzyme to drink with the Ningxia.
Sulfurzyme.
Thing of sulfurzyme, 2 Super C, and 2 vitamin D, and 2 inner defense.
All right.
So
Thanks a lot.
You're welcome. She said thank you, Lori. I don't know if you heard.
You're welcome, Caitlin. I hope maybe some of those things are things you haven't tried before.
Yeah, I don't think she does that. She hasn't used the vitamin C, the inner defense. She didn't try nitro yet. Yeah, the nitro.
Great.
So
Okay,
that's
good. Very good.
All right, everybody. Well, thank you so much. And we